everyone, welcome to Sweet Tomato Vine Homestead. I'm Linda, and today I'm out in my garden and I am about to up pot some mint. But before I up pot the mint, I want to harvest some of the mint. So I'm going to show you what my mint is looking like right now. I have 2 containers of mint. This is one of them. And the other one is in a 5-gallon bucket. And I just broke the bucket some more. After these buckets be out in the elements for a season, they start getting real fragile. So I have to pick them up by the handle. If you have a handle on there, and sometimes I forget about the handle. So I just broke this one. But I am going to harvest some of this mint before I up pot it, because as you can see, it is really overgrown. And we know how mint does. Mint can be very evasive. It will take over a spot, and it is very delicious though, and it can be used for many different purposes. You can use mint to make tea. You can use it in your recipes, and it also has medicinal purposes. And so while it is invasive, it is very useful. So don't hesitate to use your mint every chance that you get. But before I harvest this mint, I want to go ahead and clean up both of my pruning shears, because I have been cutting tomato plants with these shears today. And I just got a rag, and I'm going to put some 70% alcohol on my rag, and I'm going to clean these shears, because when you're out in your garden and you're cutting different plants, you want to make sure that you clean those shears before you move to another plant, because if there were any diseases or funguses on the other plant, then you will pass them on to your plant that you are pruning presently. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to clean them really good with this alcohol. I'm going to clean it with this wet part, and then I'm going to just dry it with the dry part of the rag. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other one. And I'll just get another area of my rag. These are just some old cleaning rags that I keep. And I will clean this little small one. And then you let it dry. But it is very important that you are paying attention to the plants that you are pruning or clipping in your garden, especially things like tomatoes and roses that can harbor funguses and diseases. Okay, so now that I have got my pruners clean, and it didn't take but a second for these to dry, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to just remove some of these leaves and stems, and I have a container here that I'm putting them in. And I don't know if you all know it or not, but you can freeze your mint leaves. You know, you can dry them. I don't know, this is a weed that has gotten in there, so I'm just going to pull it out. I'll try to pull it out, because I don't want that in my pot when I try to up pot it. I don't want to up pot this weed. It does not want to come out. And I am going to put on some gloves. And also, just want to tell you all, whenever you're out in your garden and you're pruning different plants, also, if you're wearing gloves, not glass, if you're wearing gloves, change your gloves throughout the day so that you won't pass on those funguses to your other plants. Because there are funguses in the garden, and they can be transferred from plant to plant. So you just need to be aware of that when you're in your garden. to make sure that you are changing your gloves. And when you take those gloves into your house, wash them separately from your clothes. Because if you have come in contact with something like poison ivy, and some people are not only just allergic to poison ivy, but you can be allergic to the, what is it? It's the acids that are on your tomato plant. So if you have allergies, be aware of that. Just a simple thing like what I just did, just rubbing my face with my shirt. If I had come in contact with, like I'm out there picking up my tomatoes plants once I prune them and taking them to the compost, that's not really a good thing to do. It's best to have you a wagon or a bucket or something that you use to transport them. Do not be carrying your leaves and stems to compost, especially if you are dealing with poison ivy and stuff like that. And the reason I keep mentioning poison ivy is because recently I realized that my yard is covered in poison ivy. I have known that it had poison ivy in it, but it did not affect me. It really did not. But now, as I get older, poison ivy and different things, I become more sensitive to those types of things. So I have to be very careful when I'm out in the yard dealing with those types of plants. So I got the weed. I don't know what this is. It's some sort of weed. I'm going to just toss it. And so now that I have my mint, I have gathered my mint. I got a nice harvest of mint that I will be taking into the house. I will be washing it, drying it, and I will be putting it in freezer bags and freezing it. So the next thing that I want to do is want to go ahead and get my container that I'm going to be up potting to. And this is a like half barrel container. It's just one that I purchased. It's not the original real half barrel because mine is broken. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use it. I'm not going to get rid of it because it's broken. I may end up putting some tape or something on it later on, but right now I'm just going to do it just the way that it is. I'm going to turn it out view of the camera. But I am going to start filling this half barrel with some soil. It's going to take a lot of soil because like I said, this plant is so invasive. It grows so fast and so big. I mean, it will get big in no time and it'll fill a space in no time at all. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add it to a large container so it can have some room to go ahead and just grow. So now that I've got my soil in the bottom, I'm going to see what these roots are looking like on this plant. And like I said, it's been in this pot for a while and it had lost most of its soil. So you can see what the roots are looking like. We're going to have to break that up. So have to break it up a lot. But I wanted to be able to go ahead and just grow the way that it wants to, not be restricted, because as you can see, it was being restricted in that 5-gallon bucket. And that's why it was beginning to just suck up all the soil. I need to get it a little bit deeper in there. Take my soil around. Now I got it centered. Let me see if this is right. This is a Bonnie sweet mint. So this is the sweet mint. This is the type of mint that I like to use when I make my seitan lamb. And that's just lamb that's made out of vital wheat gluten. Tastes good. But I use this in that recipe. And the other one is spearmint. So it's primarily gonna be for your teas and your medicinal purposes. I don't like it in my recipes. Now, you might like it in your recipe. You might like your recipe have that spearmint taste, but I haven't found a recipe that I like that particular mint in. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna add a little of this Happy Frog fertilizer. I'm gonna go around and put a little, not that it really needs it, because as I said, mint will grow like crazy. So I'm just gonna mix that around in there. And then I'm gonna finish filling with my potting mix. And then I've got my Black Gold all-purpose potting mix here in my bag. I guess I'll just go ahead and pour it into my tote. Ooh, that was a nice breeze. Feels good. I don't know what the temp is today, but it's pretty warm out here. Supposed to be getting some more rain. But for the moment, it's just hot. Okay, so this container is about as full as I want to get it because, as I told you, I broke it over here, so I don't have a lot of room. I will be getting some more of these pots later on, but as for now, this is going to have to do it. This is the largest container that I have right now. And some of this is just like mulch. I'm going to pull some of that out. I want this plant to wake back up and spread its roots and go ahead and fill this container throughout this growing season, because we can use a lot of mint in the freezer. We can use some to make teas, hot and cold teas, and we can use it in our recipes. Okay, so the only thing I want to do now for this one is to just water it in. I'm just going to water it in lightly because it's going to be heavy. But I do want to water it in. I said lightly, but I'm looking at it and it just wants to drink. I'm going to give it to it. Okay, so it don't look like very much right now, but we'll come back and do an update on it once it starts to putting on some more growth, which it will do very, very fast. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this one down and get ready to do our other one. Okay, so as I said before, the other mint that I have is a spearmint, and it has a lot of medicinal purposes also. Or it can be made into some tea or added to some teas. So what I want to do is I'm going to put it in a container that's larger than it is, because as I said the same about the other one, it has sit here and just consumed all of the soil. there's hardly any soil in here. So we're gonna put some soil in the bottom of the container. We want it to sit about the same height as it was sitting in this container. Although it don't look like this container is much bigger, it is. And I want to give it more soil. I could have just came and put some soil in here, but I didn't want to do that on these plants. I wanted them to get a chance because they are so fast growing, and I just wanted them to have an opportunity to have some fresh soil, a little fertilizer. And so I'm just gonna move this one, and you see what the roots are looking like. It has sit in that pot and it has consumed most of the soil. So I'm going to break up this root system some, a lot. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and backfill the plant. That's looking a little low to me. Get it out if I can get it out without losing the soil that I got. I'm gonna add a little more, a little higher. And I need to keep my soil. Okay, yeah, that looks better. Okay, so I'm just gonna backfill it. And so y'all, I urge y'all to start looking through your garden and through your plants to see which plants have the soil levels going down because the plant is trying to thrive and it does not have enough soil, so it just consumes it. Or your soil is getting washed away when you're watering. Either way, you have to build those soil levels back up. Because that is how you're going to feed your plant. Unless you're hydroponic. But if you're growing your plants in soil, you need to keep soil in there with the plant. Keep the plant fertilized and watered. And that's going to be vital in these upcoming months. Let's get this out, some of this decayed matter that's in here. Pull it out. Just cleaning the plant up a little and add some more of the soil. Put a little bit of this Happy Frog in there. Happy Frog organic fertilizer. And I know this plant here, it doesn't look like much right now either. But as I said, we will come back and do updates on these plants to see how much they have grown. Because they will grow very fast. Give it a good drink and watch it grow. Okay guys, well I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I hope that you would give the video a thumbs up. Hope that you will subscribe to the channel if you have not already subscribed. And as always guys, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video.